I don't know. It's a morning where I'm just kind of driving on my own and thinking about things and how I kind of want to put myself together for this little message. But I just have to keep on trusting that someday these videos will be found or whatever, or will not fall on deaf ears. So my thing is by the way, it's March 15th, 2025 at 7:30 in the morning. And so I wanted to talk about my trade again, which is air conditioning. That's all I know pretty much. Before that, I installed car stereos and alarms. I did some masonry work for about a year when I was about 16 to 17. But anyways, so for 30 years I've been doing AC. And I've just seen the industry continue to do the wrong thing. Meaning, before R22, which was the best gas ever, as far as I know, I never dealt with the R12, which was the predecessor to the R22. And I think the R12 may have been the original gas that Carrier first invented. So that said, when they came out with the R410, which they're now phasing out because that's an enemy now to the environment, when they brought in the 410 to overtake the R22, it was like my first condenser, or one of the first. I blew up the compressor on startup, and I was like, okay, this is the beginning of the end. And sure enough, so what'd they do? Here we are, about 20 years later, and we're phasing out now the R410, and we're bringing in a new refrigerant, an A2L. That's the letter A, the number 2, and then the letter L refrigerant, which is going to require us for the first time to have a safety for a refrigerant leak, which makes sense because they don't want to be liable for people fucking dying. So you're going to have a safety that's going to turn your machine off. You're going to know you have a problem, and now you're going to have to fix it. Like we used to be able to gas and go, and it would cost you about, in California where I live in Orange County, it would cost you about $700 on average. And on average, it could last you 1 year. It could last you several years, but I have a solid reputation where I don't even advertise. So I would gas and go, and honestly, you get about 5 years on the average. So people are like, yeah, it's worth it. But you put in the 410 system, and I almost guarantee you, on the average with that stuff, within a year, your contractor's 1 year forced warranty is up. They might come out and gas you up. If you're past the 1 year warranty, many of them won't. But they'll get themselves, just by gassing you up, they'll get themselves beyond the 1 year warranty, and then they'll see you later. But anyway, so my gassing up and going has always worked, and I've been in business for myself for 10 years. But so now with the safety, you're gonna have to fix it, which is a minimum. Just to start, it's like $1,500 just to start, and so it goes up from there. And most of you are gonna be talked into a new coil all the time, because you can't be gassing and going. You'll be tripping on the safety, and you'll want to keep that safety employed. Why? Because that gas is at least flammable, and I believe under the right conditions it could be explosive, but I haven't proven that yet. But it's even advertised on the box, which has never been before. You look at all of our previous gases, even the 410, the R22, the 134, the 407C, which is what I use for the R22. And despite what the industry says, because I'm going to get into that now, I just dumped the 407 right on top of the R22 First of all, those systems are 30 years old typically. And why would you put all the labor in of fucking... Even they suggest to dump out the oil. Well, anyways, I've been dumping all the 407C right on top of R22 for years now. And no problems, and people love me for it. So they're cooling, and I'm happy if they're happy. So that's all a bunch of bullshit. And so we'll start with that. That, you know, a lot of what we hear in the industry is bullshit, right? Just right there was bullshit. They want to get into people's pockets. And that would cost you extra money, right? Because it is recommended that you take your compressor out, you dump the mineral oil, or you get a compressor that is made for POE, because that's what that refrigerant is. 407C likes POE oil, apparently, supposedly. But I put it right on top of the 407, the R22, with continuing to use the mineral oil, and I haven't had a problem with sludging or fucking no problems. Good night. So that's the end of that story. But what I do want to get into is the industry. So what we do, air conditioning guys, our strongest time of year, our Christmas time, is in the summer. We all know that. It's not a secret. Well, the industry now is pushing heat pumps, all electric, right? I mean, they're making it harder and harder for us to get gas-fired shit. Furnaces are an absolute joke now. These low NOx, that's LO, dash N as in Nancy, O, X as in Xavier. Low NOx furnaces, I mean, I give them a 10-year life just because of the way they burn. To me, they just burn like a hot box, man. They just freaking too much. And so I give them about a 10, 15-year lifespan. Where the furnaces nowadays, or before that, you know, you're gonna get 40 years out of those. And then, so the industry is pushing heat pumps. Why? Because they want to turn our winters into our summers too. So we're slammed year round. You get it? So if you bought a heat pump, I'm sorry, but you did it, you know? You want to keep, in my opinion, I'm telling all my client base, and they've all heard by now because I've been screaming this for about 2 years, is stick with your original equipment. Never change your cases. You can always get a coil manufactured. Yeah, it's going to be extra money, but it's going to be fucking solid. I have a place called American Coil in Glendale. No, Glendora. Yeah, is it Glendale? It's in Glendora, I believe. It's either Glendale or Glendora, California. American Coil. Unfortunately, they're several weeks out. That's a downer, right? So you might have to go a fucking one summer without AC, you spoiled bitch. But it's the right thing to do. It's going to be a solid coil when you get it back. Most of us could do without AC. It's the heater side. So if you're on a heat pump, you're going to be running your outdoor unit, your condenser, your compressor is going to be running for your heat now. What I'm saying is to install hot water heat. It's nothing new. I'm not inventing it. It's been around for hundreds of years probably. I mean, I think it was all invented in England, and you know, originally probably. I don't know the history, but it makes sense, man. You know, if you're gonna be a stupid idiot industry and condemn gas-fired furnaces, which have always been solid, we've not. I mean, look at the lifespan on these things. You got to be kidding me. You know, the industry and environmentalists are all worried about the environment. They're not looking at how much trash we're throwing in. You know, when we condemn units, that all just goes to recycle and trash, and it's just fucking a bunch of hoopla. So, you know, pardon me for all my parentheses as I speak about all this shit, but it's probably going to turn into like an hour video. I'm headed out to Arizona from California to visit my stepdad. But anyway, so that's pretty much my skinny, is hot water heating, where you're drawing a half an amp, and most of us have like a mechanical area or mechanical room where the hot water heater is in the same room as your furnace or furnaces. So it makes good sense, you know, your hot water heater is right there, bing, bing, bing. You know, why do anything other than that? You're going to be drawing a half an amp over your blower motor, which is like maybe 5 amps. So your blower motor's 5 amps, put a half amp on top of that for your water circulation pump. Yeah, you're going to pay a little bit to the install. That's just done through your plumber. Use your plumber. Tell them, run your AC guy a supply and a return to the water heater. And then you put in a check valve. You can buy coils online if you want to do it yourself. That's easy. Boom. And you got lifelong water heating. And if people want to tell you and screw you and say, well, they're leaky. No, they're not. They're as leaky as your goddamn shower, man. You know, you run your heat a lot less than you take a shower. Watch. Mark my words. Mark my words. If you have 5 people living in your house, you're gonna be running your water a lot more than your heater. So, you know, that is a bunch of malarkey. Can they leak? Do they leak? Of course, man. Do your showers leak? Do your floors leak? You know, you run. No, come on, man. So, we're never gonna get away from water leaks. Sorry, man. And water is a fucking bitch. But you know what? It's the best answer for your heating. It's cheap. It'll last forever. I mean, forever and ever. Those coils, I don't know if I've ever, and in 30 years have I seen a water coil leak, maybe 2. And I've serviced a lot of them. I mean, I know what I'm doing on water coils. You know, I know what I'm doing on furnaces too, and I would prefer water, you know, I prefer gas-fired furnaces, but if they're going to be stupid about them, I don't sell them. I don't sell them a bit, you know. If somebody wants me to come out for a first-time service call, I just had a lady call me yesterday. I've known her for 4 years. I've been out to her house one time before for an air conditioner, which I've repaired. Now her heating was on the fritz, which she needs a circuit board. But, you know, I told her, I said, she started saying, because the system is 12 years old, and people start thinking that 12-year-old shit is ready for the fucking trash, and it's not. I told her, I said, don't do it. I mean, more or less, I told her, don't be stupid, don't do it, right? So, y'all don't be stupid, don't change out your stuff ever. Always keep your cases, that's all I'm saying. Your original case is all you need. So, you just keep on changing your blower motors. You can get blower wheels from online too. You just measure the diameter, the depth, right? The width, or whatever you want to call them, right? It's a convex, concave, right? Boom. Does it look like a boob, or is it like a ditch, or a hole? So, and then what the rotation is. It's easy. Blower motors, blower wheels, and then a hot water coil and an air conditioning coil. Straight cooling, your condenser is always going to be just a condenser. Never a heat pump. Never a heat pump, folks. Never a heat pump, folks. You're always going to be able to get retrofit gas, by the way, I do believe, I hope. Because as long as there's competition, capitalism, you never want communism, man, because once one person takes over everything, that's why I like to see competition for Elon Musk. You know, who's that guy that's working with NASA now, that kid? He's like, I saw it on what Keanu Reeves special for Roku channel. Anyway, I forget the name of him. It's Ellis or something like that. Anyways, this kid's brilliant, man. Freaking doing everything by 3D printing, making fucking rockets. And I appreciate the fucking competition for Elon Musk. We can't be having communism. And if one person rules everything, I mean, as much as I like Elon Musk and I trust him, you know, there needs to be competition. I am a true capitalist. So, Elon, I'm sorry, buddy, but I do believe you need competition, man. So, but I love you, brother, and I appreciate all the work that you're doing for free for the American people. You are an American, I trust. Maybe the kid that's working with NASA, maybe he's not so much. he kind of sounded pretty, though we talked about the spirit. Everyone has a spirit. We all would agree with that. But when people start talking about nature, and how everything comes from nature, and that kind of comes from an evolutionary idea, I would suggest that, and it's just kind of denying the truth about God. And then you have to delve deeper into who God is and all that once you get to that point. But to deny the Godship of God is, I think, asinine first. And then, I'm just speaking from my heart, man, is, it's just denying God, you know? And, imagine if you were God and created this puny guy who played with Legos, and the kid is just talking about how nature is everything. Well, let's give God the glory, son. And maybe one day you'll consider things. And Keanu, you're 50-something, dude, and you're talking nature, too. Y'all need to fucking grow out of your little man pants, or grow into your man pants, out of your baby pants, into your man pants, and talk about God for a minute. Y'all are too proud, you know. That's pride, man. Y'all need to humble yourself and consider that there are people that are over you. You're not the epitome or the peak of the human race, or you're not Keanu. You talk over your buddy there. You need to allow some room. Yeah. If your partners, your partners. If you're not, then you all need to figure something else out, because you're all going to be separating anyway, because you're almost unwatchable. But I like the shit, the content, yeah? And especially the guy on Light, coming from, I think the Brethren, was he? Or Quakers. Which I appreciate the Quakers. There's a lot of shit about, Jesus I appreciate. But I think we missed the mark when, you got to read in the Bible where it says be. The letter, two-letter word. B-E. And be. And remain. And abide. Those kind of words. Those are truth words. Those are challenging words. Anyways, I said a lot, and I have turned this into what? Oh, it's only 17 minutes, man. So if y'all can't give yourself 17 minutes of educating yourself about hot water heating at least, then, damn them human race, because, you can turn a blind ear, a blind eye, and a deaf ear to education. And that's another thing. Fake education is fake education. Let's get the evolution out of our schools. I remember being taught that and going to church on Sundays. How confusing is that? You got school teaching you, and he's got school teaching you evolution. That I came from an ape. Well, my Bible said, what I heard on Sundays, said that I came from Adam and Eve, which were human beings. They had names and shit already, given by God. So that was more believable than I came from a monkey's uncle. Or there's this. No, I like watching that. There's a guy named, I forget, Warren Moon, I believe his name was, but you got to watch his documentary from, I think, the 50s, 60s, maybe, on bees, on B-E-E-S, bees, and just how miraculously beautiful those creatures are, and the miracles that they really live by. But bees will convince you of God, and for me they did. Anyways, I love all y'all, and God be merciful to us. And if you've been ingratiated with any kind of life on this earth, if you've lived even 20 minutes, or I don't even know, man, if you breathe a minute, you have a soul, and what a gift that is, huh? That a sperm and an egg can come together and form a soul. I don't believe, without that happening, I don't believe the Mormons have it right that you're first up in heaven. Although you're in God's thoughts for sure. Absolutely. But you're not there. No, you're not in heaven first. Yeah, so I love you guys, man. Why can't we all just be truthful? Huh? I've spoken nothing but truth here today. Only you can see behind me, man. I don't know if y'all can see in that mirror there. It's all Big Bear and yeah, all that. Beautiful. I won't see that on the way back.